Hello yogis, and welcome back to the mat. My name is Lauren, and today we will explore Sun Salutations, or also known in Sanskrit as Surya Namaskar. Sun Salutations are a set sequence of poses that derive from the ancient Hindu tradition of welcoming and giving thanks for the sun. Originating around 3,500 years ago, this practice was traditionally performed outdoors facing east, the location of the rising sun. For this culture, the sun is the physical and spiritual heart of our world and the creator of life. The rising of the sun is a symbol of the dawn of consciousness and inner wisdom. Sun salutations are a really popular sequence in yoga, and if you've ever been to a class before, you've probably done this sequence already, or at least a variation of it. It's so widely used because it is a fantastic warm-up and it allows you to find a strong connection to the breath. Today I will teach you the classic variation. You will learn how to perform each pose and how to link them to the breath. This variation is great for beginners as it teaches you the foundations of a variety of other yoga poses. So without further ado, let's get started. We will begin in a comfortable seat, whatever works for you, cross-legged, kneeling or in a chair. Hands resting comfortably in your lap. Closing down the eyes, turning your focus to the breath. No need to change it in any way, just observing it as it is. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. Observing the slight pause before and after the inhale. It's okay if you find yourself getting distracted. Just noticing that you're distracted and coming back to the breath. Then letting the practice fall away. Gently blink the eyes open. We'll meet in an extended child's pose by bringing the knees wide, hips move towards the heels, fingertips reaching forward. Perhaps the forehead comes to rest on the mat. On your next inhale, bringing the hands a little closer and coming up into a tabletop position, checking that the wrists are underneath the shoulders and the knees under the hips. Move through a few rounds of cat-cow and using the breath to lead this movement. As you inhale, tailbone pointing up to the sky, belly dropping towards the floor, chest reaching forward, gaze slightly up. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, press into the hands, round through the back of the heart reaching up to the sky, the chin tucking into the chest. Inhale, forward to cow. And exhale, up to cat. Continuing this movement with the timing of your own breath. After your next exhale, coming back into your neutral tabletop, bring the hands a little further out in front of you. Tuck the toes, lift the knee into downward facing dog. Keeping the knees nice and bent here to prioritize lengthening through the spine. Doing any movements here to help you settle into the pose. You might like to pedal the feet by bringing one heel to the floor, then the other. Then slowly walk the feet towards the hands, finding a forward fold at the top of your mat. Finding a deep inhale, grounding the feet into the mat, and slowly roll up through the spine, up to standing. The head is the last to arrive. Finding yourself in Tadasana. Tadasana is one of the most important foundational poses. It does absolute wonders for your posture, but it also teaches you some really great building blocks for alignment that you can take throughout so many other yoga asanas. So allow me to break it down for you. Our feet are about hip width apart. They could also come together, whatever feels better in your body. The toes are spread nice and wide, and you're suctioning the feet onto the mat, trying to lift through the arches. Your legs are nice and active, perhaps finding a slight external rotation through the legs. The tailbone tucks underneath our body, almost like you're trying to bring the pubic bone towards the belly button. The belly button scoops in and up. The shoulders roll up and back, allowing the chest to be nice and proud. Slightly tuck the chin towards the chest. The arms are active, so the fingertips are reaching towards the floor. Then imagine that someone has a string that's connected to the crown of your head, and they're pulling you up to find some length through the spine. Taking a moment here to notice how the body feels in this shape, and connecting back to your breath. When you're ready, bringing the hands in front of the heart, finding Pranamasana. We'll now begin our first round of our classic sun salutation. We'll start with an inhale. Reach your arms up to the sky, finding an upward salute. The hands can be together or shoulder width apart, whatever feels best for you. On your exhale, bringing the hands down to prayer in front of your heart, and bend from the hips into a standing forward fold. Hands coming to the shins or perhaps the floor. On your next inhale, step the right foot back, finding a low lunge. So the back knee is on the floor, rising up onto your fingertips. You might like to have blocks under your hands here to create some extra space. Then press into the hands and stepping that left foot back to meet the right in downward facing dog. Pressing firmly into both hands here. The head is nice and relaxed, just dangling. The hips are reaching up and back. And the heels are reaching down towards the mat. As you exhale, drop the knees, chest and the chin onto the mat into our 8 limb pose. As you inhale, sliding the legs back, finding cobra. The top of the feet and the legs are pressing firmly into the mat. So is the pubic bone. The glutes are squeezing towards one another. And in Cobra, we try to use our back muscles to lift up our chest instead of the hands. So the hands are either lightly on the mat or you might bring them up all together. As you exhale, tuck the toes and use your hands to push back through child's pose and then up to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot back between the hands, finding a low lunge so that back knee is on the mat. The chest is nice and open, reaching towards the front of the room. Exhale, step that left foot to meet the right at the top of your mat, finding forward folds. And inhale to press firmly into the feet and rising up all the way so that the arms come up above to our upward salute. And exhale, hands come back in front of the heart. Moving onto the left side now. Inhale, arms reaching up above. Exhale, folding forward from the hips. Inhale, step the left leg back, knee on the floor, low lunge. And exhale, stepping back to downward facing dog. Inhale here. And exhale, drop the knees, chest and chin onto the mat. Inhale, coming into Cobra. Perhaps taking the hands off the mat. And exhale, hands pressing firmly into the mat. Tuck the toes, push back through a quick child's pose, then lift the hips up to downward facing dog. Inhale to step that left foot through between the hands. Checking here that your hips are nice and square towards the front of the room. For me, I have to bring the left hip slightly back and the right hip slightly forward. Exhale, the right foot meets the left at the top of the mat into forward fold. Inhale, grounding into the feet, rising up to upward salute. And exhale, hands find the heart. I invite you to join me in one more round of this Sun Salutation Classic, this time moving a little bit faster. I'd really like you to focus on letting the breath guide your movements here. Inhale to upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, low lunge. Exhale, step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest and chin finding the mat. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push back through child's pose up to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward between the hands, low lunge. Exhale, left foot steps forward, forward fold. Inhale, grounding into the feet, rising up to upward salute. Exhale, hands find Pranamasana. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot back, low lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to stay. Exhale, knees, chest and chin coming onto the mat. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, come through child's pose up to downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps forward, low lunge. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, Pranamasana. Please join me by making our way to child's pose, by bringing the hands to the mat, stepping the feet back, knees coming onto the floor, and sending the hips to the heels. Closing down the eyes, reconnecting to the breath. I encourage you to stay here for as long as feels good. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I invite you to do this class at home with the warm wrist sequence for the perfect yoga warm-up. Keep an eye out for the Sun Salutation A video that'll be coming out in a couple of days. Have a lovely day, yogis. Namaste.